So Dan and Brian.
Brian and Reichert.
Oh, yeah, Deb too, all right. I would like to call the Board of Trustees meeting to order, please. If you would stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all and welcome. Sorry about the delay, but we had a very good public hearing. It was worth waiting for. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Trustee Harn. Trustee Gett.
Present.
Trustee Dan Marisko. Trustee Diane Marisko.
Present.
Trustee Reichert. And Trustee Carter.
Present.
Okay, we would be at item 4, approval of a special Board of Trustees minutes for August 15th, 2017. I would entertain a motion to approve those.
I approve those.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions or corrections on the minutes? All those in favor of approving them signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Item 5, approval of the Board of Trustees minutes for August 15th, 2017. I would ask for a motion to approve those.
Make a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I do. Okay, any questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. All right, since we're so late tonight, I'm going to vary just a little bit from the order of business because there are some folks who have sat through the last meeting and they didn't know they'd have to wait so long. They're here to really give us some good news. Most of us, if you've lived here a while, would remember Mildred Lees. Mildred was a longtime village clerk, so her daughter is here tonight. Welcome, ma'am, if you come forward to the microphone and give us your name.
I kind of feel like when I walked in, I didn't know what a regular meeting was like here. And all these people were here, and I thought, oh, well, this is normal.
No.
And then things weren't exactly normal, I don't think. The reason that I came tonight, I came during the week and talked to him, and he said, oh, just attend the next board meeting, and gave me the paper. And I came in, and that's how I got into the little situation I got into. But the reason that I came, recently I came into an inheritance. And my mother was village clerk of the Heights for years. She gave her life during a long time to the village, and it was very dear to her. I live in Washington, Illinois. I don't live in the Heights. But you know what? Once you grow up in the Heights, you don't forget the Heights. You know, once you went to grade school here and you went to high school at Richwoods, and at that time, that's where you went because we didn't have the high school here, but it was all part of it, and the Heights is still very important to me, and I kind of feel like, in a way, I'd like to honor my mother for all the years that she put here. So I'd like to put before the board and you people, I would like to make a donation of something here in the park to honor my mother and have a plaque. And I'm thinking of a bench or something, and I'm not thinking of a wood bench. I'm thinking of something that's going to, last with the ages. And I would like to have a little plaque put on there. And the girl that talked to me was going to look up how many years she had been here, but it was a lot. That she, and the gentleman I spoke to tonight said that every time they had a vote, and for your people, Mom was the top vote getter every single time on the vote. So she was a very important person in it, and I don't know what you need, I don't know what you would like, but I would like for you to take a little time, maybe, instead of it being a problem, it being maybe something happy for the Heights to donate, and I would like to pay for it myself.
Well, that's very generous of you, ma'am, and we're so happy to have you here tonight, and we certainly want to honor your mother. Mr. Smith, do you have any thoughts on this, sir?
Well, I do have some initial thoughts, but I'm getting caught a little flat-footed here. I think this is something, and perhaps I can get your information from the clerk, or we can talk after the meeting, but I think we can have a meeting, and I'm confident we'll come up with something.
You want to give Mrs. Gill your card then? And
Sure.
I'm not going to stay because we haven't even had supper or anything. We just kind of walked into the other meeting thinking it was going to be real quick and goodbye, and it didn't exactly happen that way. And he's on one side of the room and I'm on the other, so we couldn't even leave and come to another meeting. We got to stick around, but I learned a lot.
Here's my card, and I'd be more than happy to
Okay.
work with you, and I oversee the...
Okay.
that, again, ma'am, is very generous of you, and
Thank you.
when you two figure out what you want to do, we'll be happy to do a little dedication ceremony. I'll be happy to...
And I know Mayor Pitzel was here a long time, and I don't know if anything, Mr. Carter, I remember him, but, I mean, maybe even something that names could be put up of people that, you know, were here a long time. I don't know, you know, I mean, this is something that I want you to think about, but I know that I would like to have something to honor my mother, and if it's nothing more than just a, you know, a permanent bench of some kind that I could put a plaque on, but it's something that I want you guys to think of, and it's something that I would be paying for myself.
We will do that, and so Kyle, if you'd report back to us what you...
And I will call you and talk to you about this, okay? Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much.
I'm leaving.
Go get some dinner.
Okay, we'll be at item 6, correspondence. Madam Clerk, anything you want to mention?
I have nothing to report.
Okay. I am going to move on from my announcements so we can move forward and go right into the trustee reports. Trustee Marscal is absent tonight. Matt, is there anything you want to mention under economic and community development?
There's nothing I can think of tonight, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Trustee Carter, on please.
Thank you. I just talking to the chief, and he is telling us that the cut-through traffic on Prospect and Marietta has kind of reduced with the stop sign being there, and they are complying with it. So I love it, so I'm glad we did it.
I tell you what, at first I didn't like it, but then I've used it to get up here to the village, because otherwise I gotta come up and use Lake and that stoplight and sit there, and it, I mean, I think I've lost half a life sitting at that stoplight. Now I just keep on going, get on Marietta, and so.
That's all I have.
All right. The chief's on anything? All right. Trustee Gett, you're up. Building and property maintenance.
I don't have anything, I'm waiting for the TIF.
Okay. Trustee Reichert is absent, as is Trustee Harn. Trustee Diane Marscal, anything?
I do not have anything at this time, Mayor.
Okay. All right. Any comments from the audience? Comments from the audience? Going once, going twice. Comments from the audience are closed.
We had enough.
Next, we hit old business. Any old business coming before the board? Okay, hearing none, we'd be at new business. The first is a donation request for Peoria Heights Community Raffle. I spoke with Eric Kelton earlier in the week. Sales of the raffle tickets are doing well, but they can use the money. Last year, I believe the board voted to donate $500. I would recommend that we donate $750. I would ask for a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion by Trustee Gett. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I do have a second. All right, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Gett,
Aye.
Trustee Diane Mariscal,
Aye.
and Trustee Carter.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Next, we would be at a motion to approve professional service proposal with HR Fit LLC. Trustee Diane Mariscal.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve professional service proposal with HR Fit LLC. I know we had discussed maybe tabling this or talking about it later, but basically what that would be is just that we're approving his hourly rate. So I would like to make the motion to go ahead and approve it tonight.
Can I ask,
Can I get a second, Jeff, first?
yeah, sure, you second.
Go ahead.
HR Fit is located where? And what does he do?
Mr. Christian, would you like to come up to the microphone, please?
I mean, I'm just curious.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Christian. I'm the principal consultant and owner of HR Fit, and we're locally owned here within Peoria, technically Edelstein, but within the area.
Okay, and you're doing services for the village then?
Yeah, I don't think Trustee Gett was been at one of the meeting where we talked about this, so, and I'll let you explain your services.
Sure. HR Fit is a human resources consulting firm, specializing in human resources functions, help employers of all different types and sizes, and I have a particular expertise and background in helping public sector employers. A couple of my bona fides that I work with here locally, the city of Peoria, the county of Peoria, with several different departments, assisting them with their HR needs. So that's what I do, help employers out with their HR components. Administrator Fick had mentioned this organizational restructuring project, so that's where the proposal came from.
Okay, thank you very much.
So Jeff, one of the things that he will be tasked with is primarily looking at the employees here in Village Hall, and we don't really have job descriptions written for our employees, and he will help us do that. So Diane, would you have anything to add?
Yeah, he's also going to take a look at some of the policies and procedures that we have in place or that are outdated, or maybe take a look at our handbook, our employee handbook. I'm not exactly sure when that was written, but I'm sure it could stand some updates too. So basically kind of just to get us on the right page with HR, with human resources, because we are definitely lacking in that area, and we really need somebody with some expertise to kind of guide us in that way.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, if you're ready for the question, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Diane Marisco?
Aye.
Trustee Carter?
Aye, but it's not going to exceed no more than $7,000, right? I mean, we're just doing like his hourly general HR consulting, $150 hourly rate? Or are we doing the training, facilitation, coaching,
Diane, will you take that?
200?
What we're doing it for this right here is just to approve that that is his rate, and he is giving us the government rate on that, so that's a little bit lower than what you would pay.
So when we approve, I'm sorry.
a little bit less.
I didn't have this. So if we approve the rate, does he come back and we approve something else, or is it just he goes from there?
Yes, he would come back, we discuss, if I'm not mistaken, we would discuss what we want from him, what areas we need him to look at, what we would like put in place. I'm assuming you could give us, at that point, would you be able to give us a timeline or at least an estimate of how many hours you think that would take to do, or how does this work?
Sure. The proposal that you have in front of you was specifically for this organizational development project. And the idea, and I will get to a more detailed answer here in just a second. The idea is that I'd start out with interviews and discussions with management staff, with other employees who are under the purview of this study, to get a sense of segregation of duties, what work is being done, and come up with an organizational structure recommendation. And then from there, assuming that it's what met the needs, we would go forward and then I'd start making the organizational charts, job descriptions. If there's other things, we'd mention the handbook, other policies you want me to take a look at specifically, we'd take it from there. Without really knowing what that's going to look like until we get in it, right? It's hard to give you a firm, this is exactly how much it would cost. So that's why the range is set where it is. What I would be looking for after, hopefully the board would be approving this, would be then to have the conversation with Administrator Fick or with you, Diane, of what the scope of the project would then be, and we can tailor that to whatever the village would like to see. So there would be a separate agreement that would come after this proposal. You'll note there is a line in that proposal that states there is a separate agreement, but as we were discussing beforehand, that's my boilerplate standard agreement. It would have the rate that's included in the proposal. The next step really would be to discuss the scope, what it is that you'd like me to undertake as part of this project.
And then that would come back and we would vote on that. Is that right? Or?
Right.
Correct. I mean, and we can even put something together where, you know, he may think that it's going to be 10 hours or whatever, or, you know, however many hours, whatever that comes out to. But we can cap it. I mean, that's always a possibility too. We just don't know at this point. But that's the range he's kind
It
of,
says between 4,000 and 7,000, is it in the budget? I mean, we don't, I know, I agree, we definitely need something with the HR, because we really don't have an HR. We're depending on Stephanie and Sarah to be our HR people, and they have nothing to fall back on. But, or even Matt, I mean, Matt's our HR person. But I just want to make sure that,
Oh, my God.
looking at the dollar amount, that make sure it doesn't like exceed that, and then knowing that when we did our budget, that we tried to get as close to our budget as possible, and everybody cutting, you know, stuff out to make sure that we're in the budget. So I just don't want to.
No, it's a good-
But I agree to this, I'll say yes to this, but I want to make sure it's noted that I want to make sure that we don't go over this certain dollar amount and that it is in the budget.
But in other words, if it's going to go over, he has to come and talk to us first before he does anything else, right? 7,000 is the cap. 7,000 is the cap.
I'm just putting it out there.
Right, I agree with you.
I totally agree
I-
with this. I totally agree that we do need it. I just want to make sure that it's budgeted and that, you know, we stay and focus on this.
It's
We got a lot
not,
going on here, and
No,
I'm
that-
nervous about that budget. so.
Excellent point, and well taken. Diana's going to be hands-on in this, and I expect you will be meeting with Mr. Christian over the next few
Absolutely.
days and reporting back to us once they determine what the scope of work will be.
yeah, and please, you know, feel free to attend the Finance Committee meetings too, because we can talk about it there as well. But if you feel more comfortable, or the other board members feel more comfortable, if it's okay with you, you know, can we do an agreement where we cap it at a certain amount? After that, we have to come back to the board for,
I do that for clients all the time because it's a
Okay.
good concern. Generally, we word language of not to exceed without any additional authorization from
Okay.
the village. That's no problem.
all right.
Okay, Cheryl, what is your vote? Yes, okay.
Okay, so let me get, the motion is to approve engaging his services.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so that passes. We would be at item 12, the treasurer's report. Thank you, Eric.
Okay, for treasurer's report, I have the Village of Peoria Heights has, let's see, the grand total for the village accounts is $1,298,481.43, and for the waterworks, it's $442,052.94.
You've heard the treasurer's report. I would ask for a motion to approve it.
So moved.
I have a motion by trustee Gett. Second?
I second.
All right, I have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Questions on the report? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Diane Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Carter?
Okay, and that passes. We would be at item 13, payment of the bills. I would ask for a motion to pay the bills.
I make a motion to pay the bills.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Any question on any of the bills? Discussion on the motion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Diane Mariscal?
Aye.
And Trustee Carter?
All right, that passes. Trustee Gett?
I say we adjourn this puppy.
I have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
There is. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we are adjourned.
Those who oppose, run.